Welcome to Chocolate Cake for the Soul, a cozy space to return to your truth, awaken your energy, and find clarity. I'm Dewi, and I'm here to hold gentle, powerful conversations on healing, intuition, and the unseen energy that shape our lives. So get comfy, and let's take a bite of chocolate cake for the soul together. Hi, everyone. So today we will be talking about how to trust your intuition. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about intuition. What is intuition really? So intuition is very different from analytical thinking. It can come in various forms depending on the type of person you are and which chakra you rely on most. I think the most common intuition that people rely on is their feeling. So they will say things like, I feel da 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 da. There are other types of intuition, something like you hear a guidance, that voice in your head that tells you stuff. It could be positive, it could be negative. Sometimes it's more like a warning than a positive thing. Sometimes it's more like visions, like they see something and they see images. Or sometimes it's more like a knowing. So all of these are intuition. So what intuition is not, it's not a step-by-step logical thinking. Because of this and then this, so it becomes like that. That is not intuition. That's more analytical. Everybody actually have the same capability to receive intuition. However, not everybody access them as well as they should. Why is that the case? Well, there are many reasons. Most people, they are not in the body, and so they're not receiving the message or the information that their energy is telling them. Or sometimes it's the other way around. I have people telling me, oh, hey, Dewi, I'm not sensitive at all, so I don't get all this information. I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. Whereas actually when I look at them, actually it's the other way around. They are too sensitive. They were too sensitive to a point where they shut down all communications and they just go unconscious because it was too much. They hear too much, they see too much, they feel too much. It was overwhelming to a point that they just shut down. So a lot of people also have some of this issue. And the most common problem that people have is the programming. So since young, for example, you've seen a lot of little kids pointing to a corner in a room and go, Mommy, what is this? And then the mom look at the dark corner and they're probably scared themselves and they don't want to scare the child. So they say, oh, it's nothing, it's nothing. So maybe the child did see something, but because the mom said nothing, so the child in their head, whatever it is that they're seeing equals nothing. So the next time they see that something, they tell themselves it's nothing. And over time, it's just nothing, even though clearly they're seeing something. So that's how over time people get, intuition gets clouded. Also, a lot of times also that I see is where doubts and invalidation creeps in. So for example, the example with the child. So they saw something and they tell the adult, Mom, I see this. And the mom says, no, you're not seeing anything. There's nothing there. So they get invalidated every time they express what they see or whatever they hear or what they see. And over time, that invalidation energy gets stuck in their energetic field. So each time they have an intuition, maybe they have a vision, or maybe they hear something, or maybe they have an intuition or a knowing for something, there's always this voice that says, no, that's not right, that cannot be right, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong. So they begin to doubt themselves. And another point also, usually that becomes an issue, is differentiating your information with other people's with other people's information. So I see this all the time. Because you are so sensitive, for example, let's say you open up your second chakra and you feel. And when you feel, it opens up to all kinds of energetic fields. It opens up to all kinds of energy. So you might be feeling, for example, the person who's sitting next to you energy. You might be feeling your friend's energy or your cousin or your family or your parents' energy. And all their feelings all get stuck in your field. And that's when it becomes confusing. Just because you feel it doesn't mean it's yours. A lot of the people that I see gets overwhelmed or gets confused, and they start to doubt their intuition is when they followed it and it turns out it was wrong. It's not because it's wrong. It's because the information that they trusted to begin with was not theirs. It's more of having clarity and knowing and making a differentiation of what is yours and what is not yours. So think of it as, for example, when a friend calls you on the phone. Maybe the first time she calls, you don't recognize the voice. And you go, who is this? And then they say, oh, it's me, it's A, it's Alice. So then you go, oh, your mind or your ear starts to recognize, okay, this voice with this texture and this intonation equals Alice. So maybe the second time, the third time, the fourth time she calls, you start to recognize, oh, it's Alice. It's the same way with energy. When you recognize this energy, how it feels, at first maybe it's confusing because you don't know whose that energy belongs to. But once you start to recognize there is a frequency, there is a vibration, or there's a color or a texture, and you start to recognize, oh, this is not my energy, this is my mom's energy, or this is my husband's energy, or this is my child's energy, you start to be able to differentiate. However, that takes practice and awareness, and not everybody is in tune with that. But over time, as you become more aware, you start to recognize, you start to see and feel, I know, this is so-and-so's energy. Sometimes their face could even flash, in your mind's eye. This is dad's energy. Oh, this is mom's energy. You start to recognize. But then again, that takes time and practice. And at first, if you're not aware of having that clarification, and then it becomes an issue because you might be believing or trusting just because you feel it, you thought it's yours, and you start to act on that information while that's actually not your information to begin with.
What does intuition feel like in the body? Like, is it always loud or is it calm?
Intuition feels differently for different people. And again, depending on which chakra you use, is it the feeling, is it the hearing, is it the knowing, is it the seeing? It feels very different. But usually, how you can tell if it's yours or not yours is, think of it this way. If it's your energy, for example, think of a pink elephant. Maybe you can see the image of a pink elephant, or maybe you can hear the sound of a pink elephant, or maybe you just feel the feeling of a pink elephant. And then if you want to stop thinking about it because you created that thought in the first place, and if you want to stop, poof, it's gone. If that feeling or that sound, that voice, or that feeling image is still there, like it's stuck like a broken record, usually it's not yours. So that's, again, a way for you to differentiate what is yours and what is not yours. Because if it's yours, then you can create it and you can destroy it. But if it's not yours, no matter how hard you try to destroy it, it seems to be stuck there. Like, I get this all the time. Like, my kids will come in to me and say, Mommy, I have this scary image in my head and I can't get rid of it. Then I know you can't get rid of it because it's not yours. So then there are other ways, other tools for you to release that energy. And intuition is usually soft. It's not forceful. It will not tell you, you must be like this. It's not like that. It's usually like a gentle nudge, a gentle whisper. But you know it's there. And usually it's there in the background, but it's there. And how you know that it's true, usually it's when, for example, if you get a reading and then they say the things that you hear these voices in your head and they said it out loud, and it becomes like a validation. And then when you heard it, you just, see, I knew it. It's always that, like in hindsight, see, I knew it. So that's intuition. To practice being more sensitive to your intuition, there are some steps or things that you can do daily. So the way, it's like how you recognize your best friend's voice, for example. It's the same way of how you can recognize your own energy. First of all, you need to be in the body so that you can access these gifts and intuition. It's there. And the second part is actually being one with yourself, knowing yourself more, learning about yourself more. The more that you do this, the more, just like how you know your friend, the more you know your friend, the more you know her voice, you know her, how she talks and all that. It's the same way, but you know yourself more. The more you know yourself, the more you can recognize, oh, this is me, this is not me, because you know yourself. But so often, we don't take time to know ourselves. It's easier to look outward versus inward. So it's more of your own spiritual practice, or maybe it's your own personal practice that you get to know and come inward. And the second thing that you also can learn is what we call seniority and ownership. Once you are more senior to your spiritual tools, your chakras, your intuition, you can control them and use them at will. That's when you know you own them. A lot of people, because they don't practice it, it comes and goes, but not at will. It's like this radio that turns on by itself, and then you don't know how to turn it back off. Or sometimes when you need it, you don't know how to access it. That's because you haven't fully learned how to own your tools or how to own your intuition. And these all can be done through spiritual practices like meditation and going inside, going inward, and really just spending more time with yourself. So if you are one of those who always feel like you trusted your intuition and then it didn't turn out like how you wanted it to, so here are some tips for you. So being a psychic, I often run into this problem. It's, again, I hear, for example, I'm also an entrepreneur. So when, let's say, I'm hiring someone, I could be hearing their inner voice, saying, hire me, I'm good, because I really need this job and I'll do a good job. And then when I hear that, I thought it's my intuition telling me, hire this person is good, hire them, they'll do a good job. So it's actually not my intuition, but I'm hearing what they're saying inside. So it's their agenda, not necessarily the best thing for me or for the company. And if I don't have enough awareness, I thought, oh, that's my intuition, because I heard a voice saying that this guy is good, so I should hire him. And then I did. Let's say I hired a person, and then let's say the person started working, and I go, oh, why did I even hire this person? They don't even have the skill set, la, 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 and it didn't work out. And because of that, I started to doubt my intuition. Oh, maybe my intuition is bad. Maybe I'm not doing, I cannot trust it. It's not because you cannot trust your intuition. So it's because you're too sensitive, so you end up hearing or you end up matching other people's desire, and then you act upon it. So the key thing here, again, is awareness. Having clear boundaries between your energy and other people's energy. And also, for example, in this case, an interview, make sure that you're pointing the arrow to you or to the company, making sure that you're making decision for the company's benefit and not for the person, the interviewee's benefit, for example, would be like in that example. But mostly, I see this all the time because you're too sensitive, so you're actually absorbing or catching too much information from the outside. And then when you act upon it, then you realize, oh, it didn't work out, so I cannot trust my intuition. Well, actually, you are accessing your intuition. It's just that it's not yours. It's other people's agenda, and you end up creating for them and not for you. So to close today's conversation, I would like to invite all of you to look inward and ask yourself if there's something bothering you right now, or if there is a question that you would like to figure out, gently close your eyes and go inward and ask yourself, what is your intuition softly whispering to you right now? Thank you for sharing this sacred pause with me today. If something in this episode stirred your heart or softened your edges, I'd love for you to subscribe, like, and share with someone you love. And leave a kind review. It helps this soul space reach those who need it most. Until next time, may you trust your inner voice, nourish your spirit, and treat yourself to something sweet.